The blue and red lights flashed in Marcus Chain's rearview mirror as he drove home from picking up his daughter from soccer practice. His heart sunk, not from guilt, but from exhaustion. Another traffic stop. Another chance to prove he wasn't a threat while his 8-year-old sat in the back seat, watching her father's hands carefully move to the steering wheel. But as he pulled over, something unusual caught his eye. The police cruiser behind him had stopped at an odd angle, and the officer wasn't approaching. Instead, she was stumbling out of her vehicle, one hand clutched to her chest, the other reaching desperately toward the guardrail. "Daddy, what's wrong with her?" Lily's small voice came from the back seat. Marcus didn't hesitate. He threw open his door and ran toward the collapsing officer. Years of caution, of teaching his daughter how to behave during traffic stops, of the weight of being a black man in America, all of it evaporated in an instant. She was young, maybe late 20s, her face pale and twisted in pain. As Marcus caught her before she hit the pavement, supporting her weight with both arms, she looked up at him with glazed eyes, and in that moment, time folded back on itself. Those eyes, green with flecks of gold. The same eyes that had looked at him across a college classroom 17 years ago. Sarah? The name escaped his lips before he could stop it. Her pupils struggled to focus. "Marcus," she whispered, confusion mixing with pain. "I can't, my chest." His medical training from his EMT days kicked in immediately. "Lily, baby, call 911. Tell them an officer is down." He lowered Sarah gently to the ground, checking her pulse, her breathing. Heart attack symptoms. She was so young, but stress, genetics. It didn't discriminate. While Lily's trembling voice relayed information to the dispatcher, Marcus kept Sarah conscious, talking to her, holding her hand. The same hand that had once held his during late-night study sessions. The same person who had vanished from his life without explanation during their junior year, leaving him heartbroken and confused. "I'm sorry," Sarah gasped between labored breaths. "I'm so sorry, Marcus." "Don't talk. Save your strength. Help is coming." "No, you need to know." Tears streamed down her temples. "My father, he made me leave. Said you weren't, that we couldn't." She coughed, grimacing. Marcus felt Lily's small hand slip into his free one. His daughter, the joy of his life, born from a relationship that came years after Sarah. The child he was raising alone after his wife passed from cancer 2 years ago. "I was wrong," Sarah continued, her grip tightening on his hand. "I was a coward. I let him control me, and I've regretted it every single day." The ambulance sirens wailed in the distance. Marcus looked at this woman who had once meant everything to him, now vulnerable and afraid, and felt something shift in his chest. Not the old love that had transformed into something else over the years, but forgiveness. "You're going to be okay," he said firmly. "And then we're going to talk. Really talk." Sarah's backup arrived simultaneously with the paramedics. As they loaded her onto the stretcher, she refused to let go of Marcus's hand until the last possible moment. "Thank you," she mouthed. One of the responding officers, an older man with kind eyes, approached Marcus as he held Lily close. "You saved her life, sir? What you did today, that took courage." Marcus looked down at his daughter, who was watching everything with wide, understanding eyes. "No, officer. What took courage was her admitting she was wrong. The rest was just being human." 3 weeks later, Marcus and Lily sat in a coffee shop across from Sarah, now recovering and eager to reconnect. Not as former lovers, but as two people who had walked different paths and could finally offer each other grace. She apologized properly, explained her father's racism and her own weakness in the face of it. Marcus shared his journey, his late wife, his beautiful daughter. as Lily chatted excitedly with Sarah about soccer, Marcus realized that sometimes the people we lose come back into our lives not to recreate the past, but to help us understand that healing is always possible. That courage isn't just about grand gestures. It's about showing up, being present, and choosing compassion even when you've been hurt. The flashing lights that had filled him with dread had led to something unexpected. Not a return to what was, but a bridge to what could be. Friendship, understanding, and the powerful reminder that we're all just trying to find our way home.